Okay, so three, two, and one. This debate is not about what is the best way to solve climate change, but more on how one can utilize social media, a powerful tool to spread awareness on climate change and potentially incur actions from people. Because this debate itself is on how popular media should portray climate change optimistically, emphasizing progress which has been made over alarming predictions, which means that the main thing here that can potentially spread awareness and attract people is the media itself. And side proposition seems to think that if we portray climate change optimistically by emphasizing the progress, the problem of climate change can easily be solved, and people will certainly care about this. Because at the end of the day, both sides' goal is really simple. It's only a matter of to what extent can one does it better. We believe the first one is to attract people and raise awareness. Second is to create urgency to the problem, and thirdly is to actively look on the realistic side of the problem. We believe in opposition. We have successfully portrayed all of the points above, and we will make this even clearer in the speech. First of all, let's do a bit of things that our side wanted to make clear, right? So first of all, how the media has the power to influence people. We have made this clear before. We believe that social media is known as like a powerful tool that has the power to change people's viewpoint on certain issues. And most of the time, we rely on the media for our news sources or for things that we're worried or for things that we want answers to. Therefore, we must utilize this tool to think of the best way to tackle climate change. And we believe the main goal of the media is solving climate change is to spread the word and allow people to understand the harsh reality of the situation of the climate. And of course, we're not undermining progress being made by environmental groups or the government, but what we're trying to prove is that emphasizing progress alone do not create enough urgency to the problem, which on proposition, they have continually said that urgency is not important. So now coming to the main clashes in this debate, first of all is on people's attention, right? What is something that will raise awareness and catch people's attention? Something shocking. This in turn can make people think and act, and something that can potentially cause anger, which alarming things happening with the environment. And we believe that optimistic will unlikely attract people because the progress in which they mention is really vague, and we believe the average reasonable person know this. Why is this? We'll explain further. What they say on their side is that this will highlight labels success story, encourage action, and stronger empower, which will sound more promising and like more motivation to people. The problem here is that the problem with being optimistic, emphasizing progress, is that progress is something really abstract. Something can like anything can be called progress from the government, and a proposition hasn't made this super clear on their side. For instance, if the government came up with a plan to reduce global warming or reduce water shortage by 2030, or the government has invested a huge sum of money into nanotechnology, etc., those can be referred to as progress. So therefore, progress can be both written plan and action. To be fair, the government has created a lot of plans such as reducing the severe atmosphere or net zero by 2030. Well, let me tell you the truth. 2030 is fast approaching and nothing has changed. The earth is still getting warmer and warmer every single year, and notably there's this Los Angeles forest fire mainly due to global warming that has been happening. So the normal average person would think simply, if the government is really making progress, my social media is full of optimistic news on investment or plans made by this government, why are there still forest fires and warmer weather happening? And exactly what we're trying to prove is that optimistic news does nothing but traumatize people with the climate they're living in. It does not motivate people at all. Instead, people are left traumatized, people are left confused with the state of their climate because of all of the optimistic news they receive on the media daily. And how alarming predictions, even if proposition might say that alarming predictions will not motivate people, will make people like feel worried, confused, at least we're not confusing people with contradictions. People will have an even better understanding. Because the problem with those progresses that are claimed to be made by the government often can be counterproductive and doesn't directly solve and address the problem of climate change that most of the time happens in developing countries and underdeveloped countries, like disasters or a lot of things that is linked to climate change. Before I move on, I'll take that POI. We believe that we have emphasized this enough, and to make this point clear, we'll answer this in one of our clash later on, and we'll make this super clear how on our side you can achieve this way better. And that is the whole point on how their progress does nothing but traumatize people, and the progress alone is something really vague and does nothing to help with like other country who is facing the same problem, which left people think about contradictions which the government is actually making. And they also say to us that when people they are angry, they will lead to extreme action. Well, at least people on our side, they are angry about the reality and does these action if they do. But however, this can also be wrong since those activities, humans, normal people like us alone cannot carry it out, which means that those action can sometimes be carried out by environmental groups or eco-terrorists, etc. No, I will not take that POM. And the second thing that we would like to make clear, the second clash, is on the motivation, right? Because they said on their side that people are usually drawn to positive things and they can easily be motivated because they understand, like they said that they will also show negative things, and the like on their side people, they said that people on their side will understand that progress are being made. But again, we explain the problem of their progresses, which the progress is really vague and anything can be called progress. If the government said that, oh, today we have met with like a group of organization and we have signed an agreement that this will be done by 2030, that is also called progress, which is not really ideal to the normal average person. So on motivation, how does motivation happen on our side? We believe that motivation happens when people are incentivized to real problem happening with their surroundings, and this means our side has the power to use the media as a tool. Why is our side motivation better? Because on their motivation, people like the type of motivation they're giving to people is that they're giving people false hope that the climate is getting better, which in reality it is not. The earth is getting warmer and everyone knows that. And they're giving false hope that the climate is working to people. On our side, we actually let people face a harsh reality. And again, we have made it super clear that we're not undermining progress, but we believe that progress only happens when people know the reality, and it only happens when people have a better understanding. Better because the public know fair enough that the government is working, but showing like like every single individual know that the government is not bad and they are working, but by showing the good side on the media will undermine the reality that especially some countries are facing, and how are people not drawn to positive things we'll explain here. We believe that we make this clear, and I'll compare, is because positive progress, they usually involve policy shift, like they said, and scientific advancement that aren't easily understood or celebrated by people themselves, and many people feel inadequate. Many people feel that climate advancement or climate improvements do not directly affect their daily lives because they still see the harsh reality of climate change everywhere, so they see this as less relevant. Overall, we're very proud to oppose on this motion today. Thank you.